Hello my friends and welcome back to another great video. In this video I'm going to show you how to work with Room database. This is a crash course about Room database and I tried to keep it as simple as possible. I will show you all of the requirements to build a Room database and use it, insert data into it, update data into it, and delete data from the tables of the Room database using MVVM. And as I said, it's a crash course and it's a short approach to Room database. And in the next videos, we are going to build some practical applications using Room database to make you more familiar with Room database. Be with me till the end of this video to get knowledge about the main structure of a database. Let's get started. Here I have an empty project and I have added these lines of dependencies. This. And we are using kapt, Kotlin annotation processing, something like that. And to make it valid, you should add this plugin as well. After syncing, we are ready to use the materials that we need. As I said, we are going to work on Room database, and the first thing that we need to use a database, to create a database, is entry point of the data. This is a data class, and here I'm going to create a package calling it roomDB, and inside it I'm going to separate the classes of the Room database from other classes. New class, data class, let's call it node. We are going to build a simple node application, so we need here some variables. One of them, node name, the type a string, and node body, again the type a string, a string. And another value for the node ID, the type integer equals to 0 by semicolon. Okay. As I said, we are going to use the annotations for each part to tell the Room database, hey, this is your entry point. This is the point that the user can have access to the data, or something like that. The annotation of this data class is entity. As I said, that means that is the entry point of the database. Each part of each row of our database contains this name, this body, and this ID. The ID must be unique. To make it unique, we are going to use another annotation, primary key, and inside of it, auto generate should be true. So anytime that we are adding a new row to our database, this integer will be created by the database automatically, and we don't need to add any ID to our variable of the database, item of the database, let's say. Okay, that's it for this data class, and let's go to the next level. Here we need an interface, and let's call it room DAO. the interface room-DAO. And DAO is a data access object, if I don't make mistake. So DAO. And we are telling our database that, hey, this is your DAO. Okay, inside of this interface, we should create all of the functions that we need. So we should think how we want to react with our database, what we want to do with our database, and for each of these activities, we have to create one function, like adding data, and in the database language we call it insert data, then update data, delete data, and retrieve all of the data, fetch all of the data to display them. So 4 functions. And nowadays inside of this room database we have another annotation, call it upsert. It's mix of update and insert, so we can merge these 2 functions, the insert and the update, and use upsert instead of these 2 functions. So we need 3 functions: upsert, delete, and retrieve all of the data, fetch all of the data. Let's create them. We need a suspend function for upsert node, and we have to pass a node to it, and it has its own annotation, calling it upsert. So that's it. And let's press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Instead of this, delete and add sign, delete. Add query, and we need a query to retrieve the data. And here we need a normal function, not a suspend function, and let's call it get all nodes, and no need to pass anything to it. And we should write a simple query: select star from node. That's it. So we have now our functions, and we can create the database class itself now. So let's create it, new class, and calling it node database. Okay, here we have the node database, and we should make it abstract. Here let's tell it, hey, that you are a room database, and the annotation should be the database. Let's see what do we have here. Here we need entity, so we should connect it to this, and we need views, we need version, export schema, auto migrations, and I think only the version and the entity is obligatory, so let's add these 2 only. And entities will be node class and version, one more column, version number 1, and that's it. Here we need one abstract value, calling it DAO and room-DAO. That's it for this class. Okay, we have our database ready to use now. We need only somewhere to call these functions to set the data to our database or retrieve the data. But we cannot simply call them inside our main activity, and it's not like based on the standard. So let's see what we can do. Here we are going to create a repository and a view model. So we should separate the UI and the data layer from each other. If you make the instance of database here in the main activity and try to set the data, you can do it. But when you want to retrieve the data, the compiler gives you error that you cannot run this on the main thread. And to separate it from the UI thread, it's obligatory to use something like viewModel. So let's do it. I'm going to create another package here, calling it viewModel. Let's have a repository inside it, a new class repository, closing it. In the body of it, we need a database. Let's create a value, private value db, type of it. It should be room database. Now let's create the functions like the functions that we had here in the DAO. Let me copy this and paste it there and edit it. We don't need the annotations here, so let's get rid of them. And here we need to have body for them. So let's use the db dot DAO. Sorry, it should be a node database. Let's press Alt and Enter, and here, yeah, we have it. And optimize the imports. Okay, we have it. .DAO dot upsert node and pass the node here. Okay, that's it. We need a body for this function to delete the db dot DAO dot delete node, passing a node to it, and finally here it can be equal to db dot DAO dot get all nodes, and there is no need to pass anything here. Okay, the repository also is done now, and we can create our view model. Let's create it. If you don't know what is view model and how to use it, you can find the video about the view model in my channel. Link will be in the description. Okay, we have a class calling it not viewModel. We need to pass instance a variable. Let's have it like private value repository, and let's tell it, hey, you're a view model, and that's it. Now we need to have some functions here as well. So a function for get nodes and equals to repo dot get all nodes dot as live data. Let's go to the DAO, not here, to the repo, not here. Yeah, in the DAO, this get all nodes should give us a list of our nodes. I forgot about it, and I'm going to use a flow for this, and then I will convert this flow to live data to have the live data. So simple. Let's go to the view model, and now we can use this import live data, and here we just need to write viewModel scope dot coroutine context. Okay, we have whatever we want here for retrieving all of the data, and now we need another function calling it upsert node, passing a node to it, viewModel scope dot launch. We are launching viewModel scope because the functions that we want to call here are suspend functions. So repository dot upsert node and passing node to it. Let's press Ctrl D to duplicate it, and instead of this use delete nodes, and instead of this delete nodes. Okay, we have whatever we need to launch our project, but before that we have to go to main activity to create the actual database and set some data on it. So in the main activity, first we should create in the global scope a private val calling it db by lazy, and as I used it too much in the previous videos, by lazy is something like latent variable room dot database builder. We need to pass some items here. So first of all, application context, then the class of our database. So it was node database class.java, and we need a name, not null. It should be something like node.db and dot build. That's it. we have created our database. And now let's introduce our view model. View model by view models. We need parentheses here, and here we are going to pass the class of node view model. Okay. Some of you asked in the last videos what is the factory and when we are going to use it or something like this. Is the answer of your question. Whenever here we are passing something like repository in the constructor of the viewModel class, then we should use the factory. This is the most simple answer that I can give you to this question. So here we need a factory producer lambda block. Inside of it we need object view model provider dot factory, again lambda block, and inside it override function, this one, return node view model, and here we have to pass a repository. So repository, and for the repository we have to pass the DB. So we pass the DB instance that we create here to the repository, and finally as T. Just use it like that. Okay, everything is ready. Let's add some data to our database. To add data, we need some variables. Let me create them. A var we need for name by remember mutable state of empty string. Alt enter, alt enter. Okay. Control D to duplicate it. Another variable I need for the body of the node, and I need another variable for the node itself, equals to node and here I'm going to pass the name and the body. Okay, now we need to pass this data to our database. How? Let's have a column padding of maybe 12.dp and vertical arrangement space by 12 dp. That's good. On the top, let's have a button, a text inside of the button to tell set data, and for the clickable, for the on click, let's call the view model dot observe node and pass the node into it. That's enough to send the data to the database. But here down below, let's have some text fields to take the data from the user. name, and here name equals to it, and placeholder equals to a text, and the text will be a hint. So again, a name. Let's press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Body, and again body, and here body. That's it, I think, to set the data. Let's check it on the emulator. Okay, here we have these 3 dots, and as you can see, if you don't have it here, actually, this is the app inspection. If you don't have it here, you can find it inside of this. When you are clicking on it, you just need to select the device that you have, and it will show you the database situation, the database status of this application. As you can see, there is no database here. As soon as I'm sending the first item to my database, it should be created automatically here. Now let's take a look at it after sending the data. Hello. World. And let's set data. Okay, you can see it. We have the node DB by this name that we gave it here, and we have the first row of our database by the ID of 1, body of word, name of hello, and hello world here, hello Android. It's in my database, but I have to sync it, and you can see the next item is here, and we can have another item, MK or developer. Let's check it again. Okay, here we have the third item, and you can see automatically we have a new ID for this. Let's retrieve all of this data and display them here in a lazy column. Down below, where is this column? And it's here. Okay. A lazy column. Okay. For the lazy column, let's use items block, this one with the list itself, not with the count of the list. So here and here. And now we need the list, and before we set it on the lazy column, we have to set the data on it. So let's create a var calling it node list by remember mutable state of list of, and here let's add the node. That's it. Now let's set the data on it. The viewModel dot get nodes dot observer this, and a lambda block, and here node list equals to it, and that's it. Now let's pass the node list into it, and it will give us a node for each index, and let's have a column here inside of this column, let's have two texts. One text for the name equals to $, node dot node's name, and Control D. Body equals to node body, and here let's have a spacer, height of 6.dp, and at the end let's have a divider is fill max width and dot padding of 6.dp. We have whatever we need to show the items in the lazy column. Let's check it. Okay, here we have the data that we set on the database, and let's add another data and see if really we have the live data, live flow, and we can see the new data here immediately. So the name, Android, and here something like that, a body text and set data, and you can see we have it here immediately, like live. Let's set more and more, and you can see the data are available here. And now let's see how we can delete the data. Let's make this column clickable, and here viewModel dot delete node, and we have to pass the node into it. That's it. Let's check it again. Okay, in the inspection we have the data here, and here I'm going to click on one of them, and you can see I can delete them. Let's sync it, and ID1 and ID3 are here available, but the rest of data are missing now, and we could delete them successfully. And one more, that's it. Okay, that was everything I wanted to tell you about Room database in this video. That was like a simple approach to Room database, and you can use it, but if you want to use it in actual project, be patient. In the next videos I'm going to build some practical projects with Room database, and we will expand it, and we will use more safe ways to use the Room database. So that's it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you are new in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to financially support me, you can find the link of the buy me a coffee down below in the description. Click on it and buy me a coffee, and I will be so happy. And also you can click on the thanks and buy me a super thanks as well. Have a good day. Bye bye.